The first video I did talking about underrated albums for 2024 got a nice little warm reception, so I thought, why not bring another one back? Let's do more. Let's do more videos talking about underrated albums for the year, throughout the year. I'm just going to bring this series back sporadically, if you guys don't mind. May as well keep talking about all these albums that come out every single week that are super exciting, that aren't really getting the love that they deserve, because why not? And I never want to lose that part of this channel where I talk about these kinds of albums and shine a light on the underrated releases. Because in a world where there is so much going on this year, particularly in music, where you've got a brand new huge artist dropping every other week, it feels now, and then in the midst of this massive beef we just had, like, it just feels like people have completely forgotten that other music does exist. But I have never forgotten. So let's give you 5 albums that I think are underrated. Let me know your thoughts on these albums in the comments. Let me know what I should include in a future video for this, and check out my Patreon too. Support me over on there, give me some love, and join the Discord server. You get other perks too, and yeah, keep this channel going. Starting with Ritchie with a T of Injury Reserve has given us a solo album. How cool is it to see him dropping this album, man? I feel so delighted to see him come out here with a solo release. A few people were asking me about it. Obviously, I think I'm quite renowned for my love of Injury Reserve. They are like my second most played artist ever in terms of like plays. I do like them. I do like them a lot. I think people know me for liking them a lot, and I've always championed them, and how incredible their run was. Sadly, before Groggs passed away, of course, but that run is insanely good. Like, doesn't get talked about anywhere near enough. So of course I had to give Ritchie with a T a listen. I couldn't skip this album, and of course it's really good. It is really, really good. I don't think it quite steps up to the level of some of the stuff we heard of Injury Reserve. I think that's a very hard bar to reach. The bar is really high up, right? So it's not going to be on that level, but there's some really great tracks on here, some really cool oddities that you'd expect from Ritchie with his kind of experimental ideas going into some of the production and stuff, and some of his rapping techniques. But there's also just some really fun, catchy bangers too. I mean, Dizzy with Amine. Of course, Amine comes back to collaborate, and it's great. Like, this is just a pairing that is never going to fail. And yeah, I'm really, really into it. And yeah, you should be checking it out too. If you're wanting to listen to some hip-hop this year that maybe you haven't had too much to grab onto, just because of the fact that, like I said already, we've been very much dominated by what's going on. There is some hip-hop out there that's really good, and this is one of them. Fabiana Palladino is the one I want to talk about next here, which is an album that I am seeing some talk on, lots of praise when it did initially drop, but did fizzle out a bit as time went on and other albums came out. I'm sure there are still people out there that really rate this one, similarly with Ritchie with a T, to be fair, but they still feel like they're going a little under the radar, flying a little below the radar for my liking. But this is some lovely stuff, some really good sophisti-pop. Sometimes sophisti-pop can be something that really grabs me or just kind of washes over me. I think this album is probably somewhere in the middle of those things. I think it does grab me, but I don't absolutely love it. But it is an album that I think is worth your time, because I think there's somebody out there that would absolutely adore this thing if they'd never put it on before, like if they never gave this album the time of day. But yeah, it's really good. Stay With Me Through the Night, what a jam, man. That's a great jam. I think if every track sounded like that, this would be an album of the year contender, to be honest. But the rest of it is still good, and I want to give it a recommendation anyway. Sierra Ferrell, some really good country music here. I feel like I'm Spectrum Pulse when I'm dropping these country music recommendations, and I don't do it very often, but this is a really, really good country album. The vocals are fantastic, and yeah, I think in a world where we're starting to see a little bit of a renaissance for the genre. I mean, in ways I didn't want to see it, because some of those songs last year that topped the charts were just not good. Morgan Wallen, listen to Sierra Ferrell instead. I promise you, man, the production's so much better. It's so much more organic and earthly. The vocals are so much friggin' better too. This is a really good country album. Rachel Chinarivi is dropping an album here that may be falling under more of the overlooked umbrella, because maybe similar with some of these other ones where people are really raving about them, but it's only the people that know about them. And this Rachel Chinarivi album is very much that. Like, anyone that's listening to it is like, oh yeah, this is the good stuff right here. But there aren't enough people that are doing that. Really nice indie pop rock stuff here. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect going into it. I think I'd heard a couple of singles before, but I couldn't remember them. I was just like, oh, I know this name, but let me tap in. And it is really good. Like the Dumb Bitch Juice track. What a jam. What a great track that is. And it is what it is. Some of the guitar playing is really groovy, really nice. Some of the vocals are really slick as hell too. Just a really, really cool album that I think could absolutely be somebody's album of the year out there. Like somebody could listen to this and be like, this is the one right here. It's got that potential to it. Finishing off with Baby Mother, this is a trap album that is fronted by a really, really charismatic rapper. She is really, really fiery and really, really out there with some of her vocal inflections, but it's just like so dirty and just stinking. Like some of the bass that comes through and some of the choruses that she hits us with is just so hard hitting. A little bit like some of Doechie's stuff, I feel, but just got a little bit more of that ooh to it. Some of these tracks, like particularly at the start of this album, they are so grimy, so gritty, so much headbanging is going on when you listen to it. You're just pulling that face like yeah, this is a good hip-hop album. I think, again, for anybody that's focused a lot on what's going on with beef, wants something that's a bit different and is reminding themselves that other hip-hop exists. Not to discredit the beef, by the way, but I'm just saying this is really good. And good to see another female rapper join the ranks too, that I think has a lot of potential going forward. And that is it from me. These are 5 albums that I'm giving you as recommendations and I think are underrated for this year so far. Let me know in the comments what you think of these albums. And as I said at the start of the video, drop some recommendations too. There might be some stuff that's going way over my head that I need to be checking out. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's your favourite album out of these? And yeah, check out my Patreon, subscribe, have a good day.